Is it hard to do it without an audience? I mean, some of the shows you've been on have an audience. Is it harder to do without hearing that?
Well, that's a hard thing to give up, that laugh,
Yeah.
I will say. I really love getting that laugh. And whenever we're done a tape, my eyes dart around to see crew's face.
You're
trying to make somebody laugh in the room,
exactly. You're
aren't you?
never totally devoid of an audience. Like we're not, doing this to webcams in our rooms at home. That there is a crew, there are writers on the set, and you can even if there's not like peals of laughter, you can tell the vibe.
Yeah.
You can tell if it's going well, and you have your castmates too, and that's probably the biggest payoff, is when castmates are breaking on camera.
I love to say, because I know some of us on this panel have done multi-camera shows, there is something that's really relaxing about if a rewrite has to happen and you're on a single camera show, because there's not a group of 200 people like waiting, eating pizza, trying then with an audience warm-up guy trying to keep them going, and you're quickly trying to relearn these lines. Like, you have a little bit more breathing room, which is I really enjoy, because that was the one part about doing a multi-camera show that really stressed me out, was when the group of writers would come around you and sort of pitch new jokes, and you had an audience waiting for you, and it was exciting but also incredibly stressful.
I loved all that stuff.
You loved it?
I did. I just love that craziness. But what I find also that is the challenge for me doing this show, and it's a fun challenge though, but is to just make it smaller and smaller and smaller, so that and because Armando, who's the genius behind Veep, likes to really shoot things so that even a punchline necessarily isn't even covered. And so it's trying to make it as real as possible, and not highlight what you think is the joke. It's a trick. It's a tricky thing. It's fun though, but it's different.
It's like, but I was thinking that, when you guys were talking, that a lot of your shows sort of use that mockumentary, when you were saying the realness of it, that mockumentary kind of feel. Yours, it's not really a mockumentary, but there is that sort of feel that you're in the corner of the room while it's happening.
You shouldn't be seeing.
And obviously The Office, brought that to American television. But how is that as a performer when the camera is actually part of the procedure? I mean, does that make it easier? Does that make it harder? Do you get to
I don't know.
That on Parks and Rec?
I find that it definitely makes you spoiled, because then you go work on a film and they want you to hit a mark, and you finish a sequence of a scene, and they say, okay, now we're going to turn around and do it again from the other direction, and you say, what the hell are you talking about? That's not how it's done. I find it really comforting that frequently the cameras aren't even in the room with us. They're shooting through windows. And so on one hand, it can make you spoiled and lazy, but on the other hand, it helps achieve that sense of comfort and reality, because it's just you and me talking about, whether it's bacon or brunettes. We can have a nice intimate conversation. And they'll be sneaking around grabbing shots, and you don't even know the magic that they're creating through your work.
There's something really sort of fun too about shows like ours and Modern Family, where the crew exists in the world of the show, so that you have a little bit of a relationship with the audience and with the lens, which in a way is kind of like everybody's vying for the approval of the audience in a way. So we get this fun little release valve where if a scene is weird, or if we're having weird interaction, we get to kind of appeal to the camera and be like, you're on my side, right? That's sort of that's sort of the impetus for those little glances, and I love that. My character on The Office doesn't do that very often, but I love it when it feels right, because it's kind of like you just have this like
other universe.
Yeah, this like enigmatic third party that you can kind of be like, right?
But Ed, when you guys are doing that, is that scripted? Those looks?
It occasionally is scripted. occasionally it's like a real button on a joke or a scene.
But I would think you would find it sometimes in rehearsal,
and a lot
too.
of times it's just found.
Yeah, right.
And a lot, yeah, because most of the time you'll just be in a scene and you'll feel a camera whip over to you and you'll be like, this is crazy, right? You just want to like kind of like look for that agreement, like this is insane, right? And so you look at the camera and it's a very kind of organic thing, and that's
fun.
Yeah, it is fun. But it makes it feel legit too. It adds to that realness.
Yeah.